Today we're going to talk about NPA 2 bad news. Your job for this assignment is to write a complaint letter to a company for a product that you've purchased from them, and then to take on the role of the company and write back in a recall to all customers regarding that same product. The instructions are available here in the NPA 2 tab. You can see there are resources for writing complaint letters, there are resources for writing product recall letters, and there are some prior student work samples. I highly encourage you to look at these and read these because some of them are, quite frankly, hilarious. They definitely made me smile when I read them, and also let you know that I appreciate a good sense of humor, especially when it's able to come through in your work and still fit the parameters of the assignment. So, speaking of the assignment, let's look at what we're going to do here. In Chapter 15, you can see information on writing proper business letters, because your letter that you write to the company to complain should be a proper business letter. And so you're going to have these two documents, your business letter and then your recall letter, and those both will go in the same PDF file, similar to how we did the resume, cover letter, and thank you letter. The following are what I expect from these assignments. First, in your complaint letter, you have to have standard business letter parts. The sender's address, that's you, you're the sender. The date spelled out in long form. The inside address is who you're complaining to. The proper salutation, which would be dear sir or madam, dear Mr. Bezos, a proper salutation, not just yo, what's up. You need to have the body of your letter, which should be a paragraph or two detailing the things that we'll talk about here in a moment. And then a closing, which can be sincerely, thank you, kind regards, that sort of thing. And then, of course, your name typed out, first and last, and in your middle initial if you choose to do it. But you want to skip 4 lines between your closing and your typed out name. That's because if you printed it out, you're going to want to sign it by hand. And we're creating items for print here, not to be emailed. So in the body of your letter, you need to include a statement of the problem backed up by facts. Don't just say, this sucks. Why does it suck? What did it do wrong? What did it not do right? What did it not do at all? What was the problem that happened? Also include any attempt you've made to fix it. For example, if it's an electronic item, maybe you tried plugging it in different outlets, or you tried it in a different house or on a different charger, or whatever the case may be, in order to make sure that it wasn't just a problem with that outlet. And then finally, what you'd like to see happen to satisfy you and to rectify the situation. So if you feel like they need to replace the item, say that. If you think that this is dangerous for all and they need to recall the product off the shelves, say that. But the thing here is, don't be snarky. Be reasonable. Give a reasonable response time. Don't say, if I don't hear from you in 2 weeks. Keep in mind that you're sending a letter through the mail to a company that probably gets hundreds or thousands of letters a day. And it takes some time to weed through all that, read the complaint, deal with it, and so forth. Also, don't be threatening, I'm going to go to the media, I'm going to, expose you, I'm going to have my YouTube channel doing a full-on report on how awful you are. That doesn't get you anywhere. You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So be nice. Okay, and then for the other side of this, you are going to take on the role of the company itself, and you're going to pretend that you have received lots of these complaint letters about whatever that product is, and now you've decided that you need to recall the product. So you need to include your apology and what you plan to do about it, and how people can partake of the remedy. Do they need to send you their old one? Do they need to fill out a form? Do they need to go to a website? What do they need to do? You also do need to make sure that you include who they can contact if they have other questions, or what your company is going to do in the future so that things like this just won't happen again. And you also should include the company logo, like a letterhead, as if you're really working for that company. Now, if you're using a made-up company that you made, then you create this. If you're using Sony, for example, you can pull the Sony logo from the internet, and you don't need to use a source or citation for that for these purposes. Since you're only turning it into me in this class, I'm not going to require you to cite those sources. Again, since this is a non-project assignment, you will not have a peer review to worry with. So simply turn in your assignment by the due date on the course calendar. And remember that both files come in one PDF, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions or concerns, please email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.